Alright guys, welcome to video number 2, and in this tutorial we're going to be creating that table that's going to store all of the messages. So we can do this in a couple different ways. The first thing that we can do is we can just make it all through PHP my admin, go ahead and press all the buttons and select the columns that we want. Or a better option is actually just creating an SQL file and importing it, because that way if you ever want to give someone the source code, all you have to do is hand them off the SQL file. They can go ahead and import it, boom, roasted. And it's also good because, you learn a little more about how to create tables through kind of in SQL language. So go ahead and create a new file and press save as, and I'm just going to save this as chat.sql. Now it needs to be a SQL so you can import it properly, and the first thing you want to do is put create table, and the table name for this one will just be chat. Now whenever you create an SQL file, you pretty much have to say what you're creating, and we already said we're creating a table, and then you have to identify each column that you're going to have. So our table is going to have, let's see, 5 columns, I think. The first one is message ID, and this is just the primary key so we can identify and organize all of our messages easily. So this is of course going to be an integer. It's pretty much the ID number of each message, and not null. Obviously, you can't have a blank, message, and auto increment, because of course it's going to go 1, 2, 3. You don't want two messages with the same ID number, so that's why we have not null, auto increment. So that's kind of the most important column. Now we can go ahead and do some other ones. Posted on, and this is just going to be pretty much the date, whenever the date and the time when the message was posted. So then if you opt to display the time, like most chat rooms and private messengers do, so this is where we're going to store that. And of course this is also going to be not null. And the next thing we want to store is the username, and this is pretty obvious what this is. So I'll just make this a varchar of 255. I don't think anyone's username is going to be bigger than that. Not null as well. Now the next thing is the message. Now this is the body. This is the text that the user is going to be typing. So for the message, the data type that we want to store this is just text, not null, because you can't send a blank message. What's the point? Now after this, I'm going to have a column for color. Now this is the column where the user chooses their color. So whenever we store the color in the database, we don't want to store the name of the color. We want to store the hexadecimal value. Now of course a hexadecimal value is 6 numbers or letters, but you also have that pound sign. So it's like CC0000. That would be red. So of course 6 plus the pound sign, that's 7 characters. So char 7. And we can also give it a default value of black. And those are zeros, not capital O's. And now the last thing we want to do is we want to set the primary key. Now a primary key is pretty much saying what's the unique ID number for this table, and you choose one of your columns, and for mine it's just going to be message ID. It's the only one that really makes sense. Now remember, actually I got in the mood of programming, you actually need not curly brackets, whatever these things are called, I don't even know what the frick they're called, these things, and end it with a semicolon, because every statement, and this is a SQL statement, it needs to end with a semicolon. So now go ahead and save this, and as you can see it's saved in, well, I'll show you guys, users, Bucky, desktop, chat tutorials, chat.sql, and now in the next video I'm going to show you guys how to import this into your table, or excuse me, your database. So thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video.